under the same problems.
While dealing with material, weather was also something you could not negotiate with. The monsoon season would raise the river level much higher that the sand could not be obtained, so they had cement but not the sand to make the mortar.
The sands were mined from the bottom of a shallow river. It was loaded manually to the raft floating above. When there was a high tide or when it was rainy season, the water was too high for the miner to stand and load the sand to the raft.
There were more problems. They subcontracted some parts of the building. The window frame contractors were 3 months behind schedule, which delayed work sequences. Because of this, the workers became agitated and protested as they had to stay much longer away from family and home. They were initially contracted for 4 months and later abandoned the project and left after 6 months.
I still had to complete the building. I recruited new teams from Medan and later from south of Aceh to finish the work. Although we were scheduled to finish within 4 months, we finally finished all construction in 7 months.
The building construction was intense. The West Borneo Construction Company successfully built the schools and houses. In Kaju village, a kindergarten, 2 units of teachers' houses, and a primary school with an area of 722.63 square metres was built. In the Regency of Janto, they built 6 units of houses and a primary school of an area of 1,201 square metres. Kaju Primary School was set to cater 240 students. At that time, they only had 16 students and 8 teachers who survived the tsunami. The following semester, they were hoping for more children from other villages who would come and study in this new school. Janto, however, has a lot of internally displaced people, or refugees from Banda Aceh, who were relocated after the disaster.
The donor understand the difficulty of the construction. They were happy with the result. The children and the locals were happy with their new school. The construction was celebrated with a formal ceremony at the school.
After the school building project was finished, Vendi remained in Banda Aceh to continue his project. This time around, he had a good understanding of the situation in Aceh, and he found a place to live. He knew how to get around Aceh, and better yet, he had time to explore Aceh reconstruction processes and continue what he came to do in Aceh. Aceh was very dusty, and Vendi decided to do an investigation. The wind of the tsunami was very strong and it blew free flow since much area was cleared by the tsunami. The gusts of air were so strong. One day it blew the roof of our barrack during the school construction. Later, Vendi was tracking a group of street cleaners and found out how they operated. This manual system was donated by the Turkish government. For the Indonesian standards, this was already meticulous. They collected a lot of dust, although there was still a thick air of dust blowing. Does dust affect anything else other than just air pollution? Investigation of dust, Vendi also found post-tsunami waste activity and mapped out the circulation of this waste. To make way for transportation during the early stages after the disaster struck Banda Aceh, the debris was dumped into the sea.
I saw that the disaster's waste was lifted up from the sea. This was a heavy machinery process that carried on for months.
The waste collected went through a sorting process on the spot. Timber was sorted and used for the housing reconstruction and school furniture. Plastics and metals were mostly sorted and sold to Medan, a nearby large city. Unfortunately, Aceh did not have a recycling facility.
I came to know a unique combination of orphans who become families since every one of them loses their family. There were fishermen who were once an uncle, a brother, a son, or a father. Now they share living with each other, while a craftsman who was a mother that lost her entire family cooked for them with the catches that they brought home. They live in harmony as a group of fishermen, lobster diver, and a lad craftsman.